Hello. We are live, I hope. I'm hoping you can all see me and hear me. Okay, Tian says she can't, but there is a little bit of a delay and hopefully things have just started working. Can you see me and hear me now? Been having a lot of tech issues lately, so we'll see how this evening goes, this morning, today, depending on where you're joining from. Awesome. Looks like we are good. Hi, Angie, and hi, gorgeous Tian. Thank you for that feedback. Welcome, everybody, to this very exciting free relationships masterclass. Hi, Indigo. Welcome, gorgeous. How are you? I'm just going to share some slides with you all. So good that you can see me and hear me, and so awesome to have you all join me as well. So I'm just going to dive right in and get started. Tonight's masterclass is to a deeply loving soulmate relationship. I'm going to talk you through how to stop feeling lonely and frustrated. And it really doesn't matter if you are single or you're in a relationship, if you are straight, if you're gay, if you're bi, if you identify as a woman or a man or gender non-conforming. The information this evening is going to be so useful and so powerful for you to transformation, not just in your relationships, but in your life in general. So if you are finally ready to stop settling for less, for crap, essentially, in your relationships, less than you know that you deserve, if you're sick of attracting partners that just aren't right for you and aren't good for you, and if you're done and lonely and stuck in struggle and depression and feeling like you might never have those deep soulmate relationships, and this doesn't just need to be with a partner, we can be talking about friendships here as well. If you really have started to feel as though you might never create that or attract that into your life, then stay tuned, because we're going to talk about so many things this evening, but definitely about why that is the case for you and the exact steps that you can take to change it. And at the end, I'll be talking you through, guiding you through a really powerful exercise that we'll do together live. And if you're watching the replay, it's just as powerful then too, that will really very quickly start to shift some of what's blocking you and what is keeping you stuck where you are and preventing you from having those incredible relationships that you desire. So if you're the sort of person that likes to take notes, grab a pen and paper now, glass of water if you need it. If you've got questions or comments, you can pop those in the chat box as we go, and I'll try and get to them all at the end. If we run out of time, I will come back and answer them later. And of course, you can reach out to me anytime by Facebook, email, Instagram. I am the only Melinda Salzke-Spurr on all of the social medias, so you should be able to find me on there. So if you don't know me, as I just mentioned, I am Melinda Salzke-Spurr. I'm a mindset mentor, a self-love ambassador, so I really advocate for all of us to develop deeper self-love because of the many, many immense benefits that that has in every aspect of our lives. I'm a Reiki master, and I'm also a psychic. I'm extremely clairvoyant, which means psychic vision. I do utilize my other psychic senses, but my main gift is my vision. And I absolutely love animals. I am that weird person, whenever I go anywhere into someone else's house, I'm discreetly looking around, sometimes not even discreetly, for signs of food bowls or an indication that there might be an animal somewhere there I can say hello to. I am most definitely a night owl. I am not morning oriented, and I have intentionally set up my life so that I can work afternoons and well into the evenings rather than mornings, because it just doesn't work for me. If I'm ever up at 5 or 6 a.m, guaranteed it's because I'm still up and not because I've been to bed and gotten up early. I'm also super relaxed. I'm really not a planner, so you'll notice this masterclass will be very conversational in tone. And yeah, you can bet I was trying to upload these beautiful slides I just threw together for you literally just 2 minutes ago and trying to work out how this all worked. But again, that's one of my strengths. It's just something inherent in me, and that's how I roll. I prefer to do it that way rather than plan things out. And I really know the content. I don't need to script anything because I am really passionate about what I'm going to teach you tonight and all of the work that I do. And I've just noted there, I am really deeply committed to changing the world. And that is why I do this work. And that's why I am here to support you and other incredible men and women all around the world through energetic healing, through working through your subconscious blocks and limits. Little bit of a delay on the slides changing over, but here's some of what I know. Success really is 80 to 90% mindset. I would say 90 or even above, but this comes from research and different stats, and the other 10 or 20% comes from action or from strategy. So your inner world is genuinely what is always creating your outer world. And by inner world, I mean your energy field, your aura, and the chakras within that. And chakras are just major energy centers. So they're constantly interacting with the world around you, and any blockages, any depletion, any weaknesses within there always shows up in your external reality as a problem with the corresponding area of your life. So that's how when I do an aura reading for someone, I can tell so much about the problems that they're having, for example, because when I see a block in a particular chakra, I know what that means for their life. There's a very definite pattern there. And the other part of your inner world is your subconscious beliefs, all of the programming that you have that you've picked up from the world around you. And so focusing on your outer circumstances, focusing on action and strategy is generally really ineffective, and it is an inefficient way to create transformation in your life. You really do need to go straight to the source and heal issues there within your energetic body, within your subconscious mind. And that just has incredible power in creating the results that you want and in bringing about those beautiful, loving, deep soulmate connections and relationships that you're after. So how do I know these things? As I already touched upon, the clairvoyance. I see these patterns in people's energy fields and in their chakras. So I know that there are corresponding weaknesses within an energy field and corresponding challenges in someone's external world. Also, there's a lot of research into this stuff, into the power that our subconscious mind has over what we do. Most of the stuff that we do throughout the day, we do based on our subconscious mind. It really governs so much. And there's so much research in the fields of neuroscience and in psychology indicating that. And then the other way that I know all of this is through my first-hand personal experience, because when it comes to relationships, for many, many years, I was just attracting total drop kicks, to be honest. My relationships were unhealthy. They were really codependent. I was overgiving because of childhood fears of abandonment. I was people pleasing. I was just putting other people's needs before my own and overcompensating because I didn't feel like I was truly enough. And I had all sorts of partners who ranged from unsupportive of my dreams right through to really critical and would call me names, or didn't trust me and would check my phone every time I left the room, and just partners that really weren't right for me, to be honest. And I just settled for crap for so long. I dated men who I later found out were in other relationships. I lost myself in relationships I was in. I had casual flings with all the wrong guys. I really was just settling. There was no way I was owning my worth. And honestly, I felt really lonely all the time, even within relationships. So that's why I mentioned loneliness and frustrated, because I really do empathize with that. I was really lost and confused for a very long time. And I didn't even know what I was after. I didn't know what I was seeking. So part of what I'll take you through this evening is you getting clear on what it is that you exactly want. But my personal story is that one night someone that I was seeing casually came over to my apartment and we got into an argument, and he told me that he could see that I was selling myself short and that I didn't respect myself, and he said that I was deluded about how I was living my life and all sorts of things like that. And that really was the truth, and I really did need to hear that, so I'm grateful for it now. But at the time I just was not ready to hear it, and I was really upset. So after he left, I got really drunk and I got really high because I didn't want to feel my emotions. I didn't want to deal with any of my inner stuff, and he had just highlighted it for me to look at, and I wanted to quash it back down. So I had a lot of unhealthy behaviors like that at the time. So sitting alone in my apartment drunk and high, well before I knew I had any psychic abilities and, you know, upset and just stewing on this stuff, I heard a voice that night. And that voice was a voice of such clarity and such truth. And it was such a wake-up call for me. And I was told that I really did need to sort my shit out. And I was shown that it was my internal world that was causing me to face these challenges and have these problems in my outer world, and that I really needed to get real. I needed to start to deal with my own stuff and take responsibility for that. I had a lot of trauma from my childhood that wasn't my fault, but my healing and the way I was letting it play out in my life as an adult was my responsibility, and that's the case for all of us. So I spent a lot of time just dealing with my own stuff. I think it was about 6 weeks. And then guess what? Literally, I think 6 weeks later, the first time that I had left my house other than just to go to work, because I really was hibernating and just focusing on me, I met my gorgeous current partner. And that was 7 years ago now. Here's just some photos of us from a festival the other month and from a wedding the other weekend. But really, when you work on yourself, when you do the deep inner work, you can attract whatever it is that you desire, loving, supportive relationships. I have this relationship now that I honestly never even dreamed could be possible. I didn't know relationships could be this good. I didn't know love could be unconditional like this, that I could have someone who would support me in so many different ways, in every way that I needed, and enable me to just be my authentic self, whatever that means in each moment, and there never be any judgment, never be any criticism, just completely free to be me, essentially. And it is so amazing. It really is what has helped me to heal all other parts of my life and to be here doing this work, supporting you today. So for me, it was so transformational. It really was life-changing. And the fact that I could turn things around so much in 6 weeks, I hope gives you hope, because you really can, when you commit to the work, you can create so much change in your life. You really hold all of the power. That's the truth. So tonight, am going to take you through a few steps that you can use in order to do that deep work, so that you can have whatever it is that you want. You can stop those unhealthy patterns. You can attract that loving soulmate relationship and friendships. You can find more clarity and be more comfortable communicating your own needs, and have healthier relationships with everyone around you, even with family, with friends. So to give you an idea of what we'll be covering, here's what you'll learn tonight. The 5 steps that you need to take in order to heal the subconscious beliefs you have, those inner things that are creating problems in your outer world, the things keeping you stuck and unhappy with where you're at. So the first step is getting you to reflect. The second step is a reality check. The third step is releasing some of those unhealthy limiting beliefs we've identified. The fourth step is replacing those with more empowering, supportive beliefs. And then the fifth step is reinforcing that in order to create lasting change. And towards the end, as I mentioned, I'll be taking you through a really powerful exercise so that you can shift some of your blocks right here on this masterclass, and that will create transformation for you actually really quickly, because quick change is possible, as I said. So let's jump in and just take a moment together now so that you can tune into what it is that you do want in your life. Often we're really good at focusing on what we don't want, and we nail that. We, through our experiences, have started to discern what it is that we don't want more of. But what is it that you actually do want? I just want you to take a moment and close your eyes if that's more comfortable, and visualize what a healthy, loving relationship would look like to you. How would that feel? And don't limit yourself. As I said, everything really is possible, and you deserve so much more than you can even understand now and than you can see. So the sky's the limit. Don't hold back. Really feel into how that would feel for you if you were in a deeply loving, supportive soulmate relationship with someone who holds non-judgmental, empathetic space for you, who makes you feel safe. Maybe you feel deep peace. Maybe you feel excitement. Maybe you feel accepted, relaxed, grateful. Whatever it is, give yourself permission to feel that now and really tune into what that feels like and looks like for you. The reason that this is an important step is that the act of visualization is based on principles of neuroscience. So our absolutely incredible human brains contain more than 86 billion neurons, so brain cells, and they are able to grow and adapt and change. That's what neuroplasticity is. So by visualizing something, you actually activate the cells in your brain that reinforce that vision and that outcome for you, and they instruct your subconscious mind. So you start to create change in that way already. And the reason that it's really important for you to feel into that is because that activates the energetic part of your being. So you're working on an energetic level, then really feeling and really getting into that vibration of what it is that you want to attract, and what it is that you deserve, and what it is that you can attract. So the next step is a bit of a reality check, because honestly, if that vision that you just felt into then, if that isn't true for you yet, because it is coming, it is because you are blocking and resisting it. There is 100% something within you that is not allowing that to be the case for you. And the reason that that happens is because of your past experiences and the beliefs that you took on as a result of those experiences. So as kids, we are so receptive to the world around us. We're like little sponges, really. Kids just learn from what's happening around them. So think about how careful parents are to avoid swearing around a child, for example. It's because a little kid might only need to hear a curse word once to pick that up and commit it to memory, and then the parents are bugged because the kid keeps repeating the word. So you really are so impressionable. And if during your childhood you had a parent who was critical, who was toxic and judgmental, if your parents were divorced, if you had a parent who was absent through death or because of incarceration, or they were dealing with an addiction, or you had a parent who was physically around but emotionally unavailable, they didn't give you the love and the support in the ways that you needed, all of these things have such a deep impact on your subconscious programming and therefore on your life as an adult. Until you start to become aware of all that stuff that's happening on autopilot, it really is directing your life, and it is why you are where you are now and why things look the way that they do. So if you consider things like, as I already mentioned, what your parents' relationship was like if they were divorced, who had the power in the adult relationships around you, what were your family attitudes towards love and marriage? Did you feel loved and valued and safe as a child? All of these things have such a huge influence on your subconscious beliefs. And then as you go through life, you have experiences that just further cement those. You essentially keep gathering evidence to cement in those subconscious beliefs that you already have. So then perhaps as a teenager or as an adult, you were in relationships where there was infidelity, where there was a lack of trust, where there was aggression. All of these things are just compounding all of those limiting beliefs and restrictive ideas that are percolating in your subconscious that are preventing you from having deeply loving, healthy relationships right now. So, step 3, I believe we're on to. No, let's touch on some limiting beliefs first. When you registered for this webinar, I created an awesome bonus that hopefully you were sent in the first email. It's a 6-page ebook, workbook. It's 150 different limiting relationship limiting beliefs. Doesn't matter if you haven't looked at it yet. Jumping ahead. You can do so after the webinar, and if you don't have it, let me know. I can send you a free copy. But what I get you to do is have a read over the beliefs. I've got it showing up here so we can discuss some of them actually. And just tune into how true each of those beliefs feels for you. And you just want to go with the first answer that comes to mind for you, because that will be true. Just trust your gut instincts and rate it on a scale of 0 to 10. So 0 means the belief isn't true at all, and 10 means it feels really true for you. The reason it's important to go with your gut is because we're working with the subconscious mind. So our conscious rational mind loves to step in and override things. It really likes control. So the first answer that comes to you will be coming from your subconscious, and then your rational mind might jump in and tell you, no, I don't really feel that, because it can be confronting or it can be embarrassing or for whatever reason. So don't overthink it. Go with your gut and just think about which beliefs in that list, and there are a lot, feel true for you. So I've just put in some random examples here, and you can just consider as we read these out how true they feel for you. Good people always put others first. That one feels so true for me. I've had to do a lot of work around these things, and I am still working on it, around martyrdom and putting other people's needs before my own. There's something wrong with me. That one doesn't feel so true for me now, but it did for a very long time because of my upbringing, because I experienced a lot of criticism throughout my childhood and took on a lot of shame. That really felt very true for me. So just think about how true that feels for you. I'm too old to find real love. Or variations on that I hear all of the time. I'm too old, I've left it too late. Time pressures, essentially. I have to find someone before I turn 30, 40, 50, 60. I have to find someone before Christmas comes, you know. There are a lot of limits that we put on ourselves, a lot of unnecessary pressures. Love never lasts anyway. So that might be one that you have if you've seen relationships around you break down, or if you've had a lot of relationships end yourself. I'm scared of being rejected. So that one can come from many things, but for example, being raised in an environment where we're not taught how to feel into and express our emotions in a healthy way, or in which our inner child has been wounded and she feels rejected and she's terrified of being rejected again, or he. I won't find happiness. So there are heaps here. 150 is a lot. I asked my partner to have a look over it just to make sure I hadn't made any strange spelling mistakes. And he said, this is a lot. Is anyone going to go through all of them? That I'm not sure of. You are very welcome to. They're all there for a reason, but just even if you do the first page, have a look at 25. There'll be beliefs that pop out for you, and it's really, really important information. It's awareness that you need in order to start to create change. You need to uncover what's actually going on and get real and look at your stuff rather than avoiding it, which we are all inclined to do, and I definitely was, as I already explained, for a very long time. So then the third step is that you want to let go of those beliefs once you've identified them. And if you do go through that list, start with any that you've rated highest. So if you've rated some 10s, work on those first, even though they might feel the most intense and overwhelming. They are your biggest limitations and your biggest blocks. So clearing those, sort of like a domino effect, I guess. If you clear that, that's going to create the most change in your life the fastest. So start with those, and the way that you can clear those beliefs, There are various tools you can use, but the exercise that we'll go through a little bit deeper into this masterclass is one that I love to use because I personally and my clients find it really, really powerful, and it's super easy to do. Yeah, once you learn the basics, you can use it for absolutely everything, and it's a really great way to shift out the subconscious crap, essentially. And then the next step is you want to replace that void. Once you've started to shift out those old unsupportive thoughts, you want to put the new stuff in. So step 3 is weeding the garden, essentially. You want to create nice, fertile soil free of weeds, ready to plant seeds of new empowering beliefs that, instead of repelling and blocking what you want, are going to help bring that towards you or propel you towards it, essentially. So you can do that in various ways. Again, I'll be showing you one way at the end of the masterclass, affirmations. So essentially you just want to start to repeat new thoughts, new words to yourself, and really feel into what those mean as well. We want to activate the feeling, because repeated thoughts become your subconscious beliefs. And as we've already touched on, they drive your behaviors, and that creates your life experiences. That's how you get the outcomes that you're getting now. And then the 5th and final step is that you really want to reinforce all of that change, because remember that you've been picking up this subconscious programming from a very young age. You've been doing things a certain way, thinking a certain way for literally decades, and there needs to be repetition. You really need to stay committed to it in order to build those new neural pathways in your brain. It's like water has been running down a certain channel in the dirt for a really long time. That channel's quite deep, and the water will always take that route. If we want to shift it over to one side, it's just going to take some time and some persistence to keep trying to shift that water over until that new groove is just as deep and then deeper than the old one, redirecting the water where we want it. Hopefully that analogy is useful and makes sense to you, but it is really important, this reinforcing part, and you want support, as I said, to make sure you stay focused, and also someone assisting you so they can point out the blind spots and things you can't see yourself, because it can be tricky for us to pinpoint our own subconscious beliefs. And that's why I think having a list like the one I created for you is really useful, because you'll find that brings up stuff you didn't even know you had. You weren't aware that you had blocks around that at all. And you might also start to see some patterns in it. So some of the beliefs are related to low self-worth and self-esteem, and some of them are related to that overgiving and that martyrdom. You might notice patterns in that for yourself, and that will be useful information. But having support of someone else guiding you through it is a really great idea, so that you can create long-term change, which is what we want. So those are the 5 steps for you. Firstly, you want to reflect on where it is that you want to be, what you actually want, because that visualization is really powerful. And then number 2 is getting real and looking at your own shit and working out what is going on and taking responsibility. How are you blocking it, and why? Where has that stuff come from, and what is it? And then the 3rd step is that you want to release that, get it out, weed the garden. The 4th step is that you want to replace it, plant new seeds. We want good stuff in there that's taking us in the right direction. And then the 5th step is that you want to reinforce that. So just thinking back to that first step, that first exercise that we did, tuning into that vision that you had. If you want that to be your reality, you really do have a choice. As I said, you have a lot of power, and you do need to take responsibility for your own healing. So the first option is that you take this information that we're discussing tonight and you don't think any more about it. You just forget about it and don't take any action at all, which means that you're going to keep operating the same way and doing things the same way you always have done. So don't be surprised if you just keep getting the same results. Something really does have to change in order for things to change. And that sounds so obvious, but we forget that. And I know from my own patterns of behavior, I just get caught up in doing the same things but expecting different results. And there's that quote that's the definition of insanity, I think. So you do need to make a change. Otherwise, you are going to stay stuck in repeating patterns, and you are going to keep struggling and feeling lonely and frustrated and attracting the wrong guys who aren't right for you, who aren't honoring you, who probably are using you, and they're just not showing up with the respect and the love and the absolute adoration that you deserve. And if you're done with all of that stuff, if you're ready to make a change, if you want things to be different, then, as I said, you just need to commit to you. It starts with a decision. You really just need to affirm that to yourself and know that you're ready to invest in yourself. You're going to commit to spending the time doing that deep inner work so that you can have that awesome external transformation. So just before we jump into the very exciting exercise that I'm going to take you through, I'm just going to take a moment to tell you a bit more about my work and how I can help you, if that's all right, if you are interested in working further with me. So here's how I can help. I have an awesome program called Release and Rise, Transform Your Trauma, which is all about all of this mindset stuff. So it takes you through all of those steps that we've discussed tonight and more so that you can really quickly create transformation. You can have those unconditionally loving, supportive relationships that you desire, and honestly, that you really do deserve. Even if you can't see it yet, you deserve so much more than you can comprehend. And it really is possible for you to have that. And that is my wish for you and for everyone, that you do have everything that you dream of. So this is an 8-week journey that can support you with that. As part of the course, you get one-on-one Reiki and reading session with me, and that is super valuable. I get such good feedback on that. The Reiki energy is really high vibration energy that shifts out those blocks within your energy field, even blocks from past lives and ancestral trauma, things that you don't have to consciously be aware of, are shifted out super quickly. So I love Reiki. It's such a powerful modality, and I combine that with my psychic insight. So use my clairvoyance to pinpoint exactly what's going on in your energy field that you can consciously work on changing. So your blind spots, where your blocks are within your energy field and how they are contributing to your personal challenges. You get notes emailed to you after those sessions. I always send out really detailed notes that are like a continuing reading, essentially, so that you have that to refer back to. You get multiple group Reiki and reading sessions, all done via distance, so you can just be in the comfort of your home. You get 3 of those during the course, and again, notes sent out afterwards, and those are super valuable. It's amazing how much is common to the collective. So those readings are just as accurate and useful as the individual ones, which it always blows my mind even now, but that's the feedback that I get. They're always so useful. You get 8 full weeks of online course content, and that's more than 18 different practical and spiritual exercises, all really powerful things that I've personally used in my own healing journey. And I've spent a really long time on all of this stuff deep down the rabbit hole. So this is stuff drawn from all different traditions, Western psychology, there's Japanese stuff in there, Hawaiian, it's everything. It's an amazing eclectic collection of stuff that really works. That's how I've included everything in there. You get 8 hours of pre-recorded video content of me talking like this, coaching you, coaching the group. So 6 videos relating to each of the 6 modules, and then 2 bonus videos as well. You get weekly accountability check-ins. So that's to ensure that you get that support and that reinforcement that you need in order to create the change. And if you need more support than that, you also have the option of complimentary, all included if you need them, accountability calls, where we jump on a call like this one-to-one via the wonders of the interwebs and talk through what's going on for you and make sure that you are getting results that you want. And super exciting, whenever anyone enrolls in this course, they get lifetime access. So access for the entire life of the course. That will likely be my lifetime, your lifetime, and every future round. So whenever another round starts, you, of course, have access to that. Any new bonuses that are included are yours. It just keeps getting better and better. You get more value every time. And I do sometimes run what I call live rounds, in which you get live calls like this, live Q&As, one a week. And very exciting, the next round that is starting shortly is going to be a live round. So you get even more bonuses and benefits. You get an additional 8 hours of calls like this to make sure that I get all of your questions answered. And as I said, that you get the results, because that's what's important. That's what I'm here to do, is to help you change your life. So here's a little bit of feedback from some of my other clients. This is from the beautiful Peter, who says, I've become more confident and sure of my self-worth in an incredibly short period of time. That's what I like. I like efficiency. As I've said, you can create change really quickly when you are efficient and you go to the source of your problems. From being stuck in a really bad space, I was able to start to tune into what I wanted and needed and direct my life with inspiration to start a new career, and I even have a new loving partner in my life. So that's awesome. I think that that wasn't Peter's focus coming into the course, but as I've said, there are just so many benefits to doing the healing work. So much can shift. Here's some feedback from gorgeous client Alana, who says, there's a bit of a delay, but I really feel lighter, and that's common after Reiki sessions. People comment that a lot. And like anything is possible now. Melinda offers a truly attentive, supportive, and considerate experience. She has an amazing, calm, but bright energy. So sweet. Always making me feel safe and comfortable and at ease. I was able to open up to her and be honest without judgment or fear. Life-changing is how I would describe working with her. Yeah, I would describe it as life-changing as well, because it really is. And you know, that's not credit to me, that's credit to all of my clients and to you when you commit to doing this work. As I've said, you have the power, you can do it. You really deserve everything that you desire, really. I will keep saying that to you because I really do believe in you. I believe in everyone. And as I've said, that's my deepest wish, is to change the world through supporting you to heal your life. Here, I think this was Jess's testimonial. It is. Lovely Jess has said, I now have an understanding of why I struggled the way I did in my life. And I hope that all of you on this webinar have more of an understanding now as well, because we've covered a lot on that so far. Since starting to work with Melinda, I'm not such a people pleaser. I can set much better boundaries, and I don't carry so much guilt, shame, and pain. And those are big things. Guilt and shame really keep us stuck and hold us back. And I see those in energy fields a lot. I'm taking all the steps toward creating my ideal life, and I feel good. That's what we want, for everyone to feel good. So I have got an awesome offer if anyone is interested in working with me further. It is just for those of you that have attended this webinar. As I said, there's a round of Release and Rise, Transform Your Trauma starting really soon, and you're entitled to a huge early bird discount. There are strictly 10 spaces, I should mention this, available in the course, only because of the deep energetic commitment and the investment that it requires from me. I do have to cap the numbers, unfortunately, because there's a lot of high-level support there and one-on-one time. So if you're interested, don't wait. Jump in and enroll now, because you get the early bird discount, and there's a fast action bonus for the first 3 people who commit and who do sign up, and that's an additional one-on-one psychic aura reading. So we'll connect like this. My readings are renowned for being really accurate and really useful for people. I really like giving useful information. So that's so beneficial, getting that little bonus there. If you are interested, why not jump in now? You can go to inspiredhealingandwellness.com, which is my website, /release and rise, and the card is open as of right now. So jump in and get your special bonuses and your discount. So there it is again for you. Let's get into the exercise. which is something known as emotional freedom technique, EFT, or tapping. And this is a combination of ancient Chinese medicine with an understanding of meridian points that acupuncture and acupressure use, and modern psychology as well, Western psychology. So if you've never done it before, all you need to do is follow along with me. What we're going to be doing is saying statements and tapping different areas of our body, and you really can't do it wrong. So don't worry, don't get caught up in perfectionism. You can tap with whichever hand you like, however many fingers you like. If you're not sure exactly which point I'm tapping, that's fine. Close enough is good enough. And so what we're going to be doing is saying statements that I've just chosen some subconscious beliefs that I believe are quite common to many of us, and we're going to be tapping those out. So we'll be doing a few rounds. I'll just be tapping different points. I'll be saying a statement. You just repeat it after me as you're tapping. Out loud is ideal, but if that's not convenient, if you're somewhere in public, in your mind is fine. We'll be doing a few rounds like that, and then we're going to start to use affirmations, which are just positive present tense statements. Those are the seeds that we want to plant. And so then we're tapping the new stuff in and rewiring your subconscious, and also shifting energy in your body as well. So let me just shift a few things here so we've got some more space. All right, so the first thing that we do is say what's called a setup statement, and that is, let me see if I can just make me a little bit bigger so that you can see.